Hi guys, this next video is to look at limericks. So that's our 5th poem in our poetry unit. Make sure that you have your name and today's date, which is April 8th for me. And like I say, we're talking about limericks. Now, limericks are poems that have kind of a silly theme usually. Usually they're about something kind of funny. But the important part about them is that they follow a distinctive rhyme scheme and line length. So rhyme scheme means like the right lines have to rhyme with the proper lines. In this case, the rhyme scheme is A, B, B, A. So in the example I've given you, I'll come back and I'll talk about line length in a minute here. In the example I've given you, you'll see that the first line ends with the word for. So I'm going to call that line A. And the second line ends with the word uproar. Now, uproar rhymes with for. So I'm just going to put an A by that too. Those two lines rhyme. The third line ends with the word tough. So that's a new set of lines. I'm going to call that B. And the fourth line ends with the word enough. Now, enough rhymes with tough. So there's my B. See, that's A, B, B. Now, the last line ends with the word door. Door rhymes with uproar and for. So it goes with the A's. So your poem needs to have an A, B, B, A rhyme scheme for it to be a limerick. Second part of it is line length. Now, the first, second, and fifth lines, those A lines, they're all longer than the B lines. Usually the first two and the last line have 7 to 10 syllables in them, and the third and fourth line only have about 5 to 7 in it. Now, a syllable is what we get when we have a different sound within a word that contains a vowel, right? So we have Mr. would be Mr., 2 syllables, right? Dawson, Dawson, 2 syllables. Had, that's 1 syllable. That's 1 syllable. Class, that's 1 syllable. In, that's 1 syllable. Grade, that's 1 syllable. And for, that's 1 syllable also. So it's kind of those beats within a word, right? Now, in most of the ones I have, I don't know if I have any words that have more than 2 syllables in the word, but a syllable is just all those different sounds within. The word limerick, for example, goes lim-mer-rick, 3 syllables. So if you are counting syllables, which you don't really have to, I'm more just looking for line length, but if you are counting syllables, it's those sounds within the words themselves. Your job is to write a limerick, and let's say pay close attention to the rhyme scheme and the line length. So the example I gave you is this: Mr. Dawson's Crazy Class by Mr. Kimball. Mr. Dawson had a class in grade 4. They were always in a total uproar. He tried to get tough. He yelled, "That's enough," but then he cried and stomped out the door. When I did this poem, I actually got really inspired and decided to do even more parts to it. So that was the first part of it. The second part goes like this. The kids laughed at their teacher's pain. They said, "Hey, we should do that again." They went out of the class without the hall pass and found Mr. Dawson looking insane. The class started feeling quite bad. "We don't want our teacher to be sad." They all apologized, and now in his eyes was a look that said, "These kids are rad." And there's a picture of Mr. Dawson crying his eyes out. Not inspired by a real story, by the way. Remember, your poem that you write, I'd like you to make sure you have a title. Okay? And please make sure that your name is on it with your poem. All right, that can be sent to me through Google Classroom, or you can email me that too. All right, guys, good luck.